know that they've got these expensive contracts for a lot of aging players. They've got to pay their quarterback, Brock Purdy. Their owner, Jed York, was very open with the media recently saying, like, we're doing this. We're trying to get this done. Conversations are going to probably start, at least the serious ones. They've already had a few. The serious ones are going to probably happen here in Indianapolis over the next few days. You got to figure. But here's the thing. When you look at this roster after the season that they had, which appeared to just, they couldn't catch a break, they got to decide to cut bait and figure out a way to keep the pivotal players on this team, yet redo this roster a bit, knowing that they've got these guys that are aging and on big money deals, right? So we know that Deebo Samuel is open for a trade. He's been allowed to talk to other teams to see if anyone would trade for him. So we know that he's one of the options. Brandon Aiyuk is a player that a lot of teams had interest in before he signed that deal last year. Remember, he signed that 4-year, $120 million deal? There are some teams poking around now to see if the 49ers would be willing to deal Brandon Aiyuk.
Why would San Francisco do that? No, why would San Francisco do that, though? Seriously.
Because San Francisco needs to pay Brock Purdy and figure out how to work.
Why would you pay Brock Purdy if Brock Purdy doesn't have a number one receiver? Because Brock Purdy's not going to be the same without Brandon Aiyuk. Like, please don't do it, San Francisco.
Maybe they think Ricky Pearsall can. Look, I'm not saying they're going to. This is just the time of year where these conversations start, where agents and teams are starting to meet. Teams are meeting with each other going, hey, what would this look like? Would you be interested? And I'm interested on how San Francisco is going to figure out this roster, knowing that they've got to pay so much money. So can I do this to you? I never ask you to do this. I want you to do this. Can you play GM? Can you be John Lynch for me right now? And you're looking at your situation. Where are you cutting?
Yeah. Well, CMC is getting older. I'm not saying cut him. Can you redo his deal? Can you move some money? You got to get the $19.5 million off of Deebo Samuel's books, right? Like that.
Look, they're going to try to trade him
or trade him.
They're going to try, but I don't know what they're going to get for him. I don't see teams pounding on the door for Deebo right now.
Yeah, I mean, then you got to cut the contract. Then, eventually, right? You can't have that on the books. I mean, even. I'm sure Kittle's making a lot of money. He had I think he had one of his best years as a pro receiving. But here's the thing, Dianna. Let me just take off the GM hat and put on my player hat, quarterback hat. Because I did play 14 years in the NFL. If I'm Brock Purdy, and I even get a whiff of you trying to trade my number one receiver, I am not signing with you. I am going to pull the leverage card, and I'm going to play out another deal. It sounds sort of crazy, but Brock Purdy knows he can't beat Brock Purdy without Brandon Aiyuk, without CMC, without Kittle, without Trent Williams, even though he's an aging guy. They still are pretty stacked, and I actually really like Ricky Pearsall. I think he's going to be a really good receiver in this league. You go out, you sign another guy alongside Juwan Jennings, you have a legitimate top 6 or 7 skill group in the NFL. And I know you got to figure out a way to pay the quarterback, but it doesn't make any sense if you pay the quarterback and then cut all your weapons, right? Can they go into a season with Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings and CMC and Kittle? Sure, but you need a guy that's a dog as a true number one receiver. Now, I agree, Brock Purdy, he got better this year. Before this year, I thought he was just a pocket guy. He's moving around more in the pocket than I've ever seen him move. And I think that's a good thing, because I think that's what these top tier quarterbacks are doing in the NFL. They're not just 1, 2, 3 ball gone. It's 1, 2, 3. Let me buy some time. Let me get these guys to get open a little bit more. And I think, Purdy's definitely going to be the guy. It's just where does it fit? Does Purdy take a little bit extra? 55, 56, 57, or can you get it done for 51, 52, 53 in the ways of Tua and Trevor, like we were saying? I think it all just depends on how much he's willing to take. You can always maneuver the cap, right? You can always figure it out, and you might have to push it down the wayside, and you might have to pay the bill later down, but I can't imagine a world where you want to get rid of your good players.
I had a meeting with an NFL agent this morning, and he said, "Oh, I listen to Scoop City sometimes. You got to do me a favor." I said, "What's that?" He said, "You got to stop obsessing over the cap. You freak out about the cap.
So
it's not real. So stop doing that."
Yeah.
So to your point, they can maneuver and find ways. On top of the fact that they've got Travarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, both free agents coming up. That they're going to have to sort that out, whether or not Greenlaw is going to come back or not. That's going to be up in the air. I know there's a lot of fans that definitely want him to return. All right, so to put your feet to the fire on Brock Purdy,
Why are you laughing?
let's say a deal gets done this week. What do you think the number? What do you
This
think the
week?
number-
Wait, this week?
Yeah, let's just say they knock it out. I don't think they're going to run into a lot of problems. I do not forecast this being
Brock
one of
seems like a
these.
reasonable guy.
These situations where he's trying to break the bank. I don't think the Niners are going to undervalue him. I think they're going to probably be able to meet at a reasonable number. So there are those, though, that argue that he should reset the market because that's what the market is.
I don't think he's going to reset the market.
I don't think so either.
So if you had to put my feet to the what, Diana?
Feet to the fire.
Okay. I would say, one, he's giving up leverage by getting it done before free agency, and he's trying to do it early, so he's giving up a couple million a year. I would be really, really happy for Brock Purdy if it landed right above Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
In the
I think
53
both
to
guys would
55
have to
range.
be happy with that. I think that's such
Yeah.
if you're back to you being John Lynch, that's like a boop, high five, shrimp cocktail on us.
They would feel really I feel like they would feel comfortable in that because a lot of people aren't talking about the cap is going up a lot this year, and I'd imagine it'd be to 300 million here pretty soon, right? Like it's like 270 something right now. Like imagine if you get a 5-year deal done or a 4-year deal, whatever Brock wants to get done. Plus, so it's 5 total years. But by the time his new contract's up, quarterback's going to be going for 70 million. So if he's still playing at a level 3 or 4 years from now, it's going to look like a bargain at 54 million.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing: I don't see them having any issues either. They're all together in Cabo. Did you see them on Instagram at George Kittle's Football for Change event? They're living the life, man. They're just having fun, hanging out together on boats
players,
and
man, I swear,
enjoying the beach. Things that you need to be doing soon, my friend, instead of Disney. I don't know what you were thinking. Thanks for tuning into Scoop City. If you want to hear more, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop our new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.